For more on the disasters in KwaZulu-Natal as well as the Eastern Cape and Western Cape, we're joined by gift of the Givers Ali Sablay. Sablay, a very good evening to you. Thanks very much for your time. You must be inundated with calls for help.
Most definitely. Let me unfold the week's events. Last week, Sunday, the first call came from the Eastern Cape, when the Buffalo City Mayor, Princess Fako, the Buffalo City Disaster Risk Management teams, called our teams at 5 a.m. in the morning, asking for assistance as heavy rains has flooded a majority of the informal settlements in East London. When our teams got on site, they saw the extent of the damages to people's homes. We immediately assisted the disaster risk management teams in getting these affected families into shelters. We then fed them, provided them blankets, clean drinking water, hot meals. Even to those who could not be accommodated in shelters, we looked after them as well. A few hours later, around about 6, 7 a.m., we received the calls from Kariga, from Quebeca, informing our teams that severe rains, close to 220 milliliters of rain, fell in the Kariga area, destroying the main water filtration plant, damaging roads, making areas inaccessible. By then, some people were missing, and by that time, the death toll was still standing at 2, and currently it's standing at 10. Our teams were immediately on the ground, and the main concern was to evacuate people into places of safety. And once they were in the places of safety, Gift of the Givers teams assisted the community with hot meals and their urgent humanitarian needs. But by then, until now, in some of the areas of Kariga, there's no clean drinking water. We had to redeploy additional water tankers, and we are distributing close to 100,000 liters of water per day in the Kariga area. The Department of Water and Sanitation has also deployed water tankers in that area. We are providing the hospitals with clean drinking water. Come Monday afternoon was the mini tornado that hit KZN. By that time, 1,200 people required assistance. Our teams assisted the families that were located at the Fairbreeze Secondary School in Tongad. We provided them till 2 a.m. in the morning with mattresses, blankets, personal hygiene care items. Wednesday morning, around about 2 a.m., the first call came from Oudtshoorn, where the local dam, which was standing at 60% full, within 2 hours went to 140% full. And they then predicted that the amount of water falling for that day will be 5 times more than the dam's capacity. The Olifant Rivier was overflowing, areas were cut off. Our teams were in the area within 4 hours, and then they made a decision. It was impossible to access those communities affected in providing them aid. All credit due to the South African National Defence Force, who made a helicopter available to us, South African Police Services, who made a rubber duck available to us when it became clear it was impossible to transport goods via helicopter as strong winds and rains was too dangerous for the chopper to fly. The South African Police Service rubber ducks was used to go across the river to deliver aid to the people. And when that became too dangerous, we had to use the old method of throwing a rope over on the other side of the rivers, and people having to pull their food parcels and their blankets across just so they could be looked after. We are very fortunate there was no loss of life. We assisted 102 families within the first 2 days. Thursday, severe rain hit the Western Cape. The calls started pouring in. Areas of Nomzamo, Lawantle, Masipumalele, Khayelitsha, Gugulethu, Dunoon, Mofolene simultaneously called our teams. So we assisted close to 10,000 people until today. Every day our team is visiting a different informal settlement, providing them with warm clothing, warm blankets, hot meals. We will be responding. As you know, there's heavy rains that destroyed some of the areas in the Cape Agulhas area, where close to 400 families require assistance. Then there's an area of Citrusdal and the West Coast that has also been affected. And in the coming few days, our teams will be visiting these areas to assist these communities. But while this is happening in the Eastern Cape on a daily basis, our teams are looking after families that were affected by the last week Sunday's flooding weather. We are providing them daily with hot meals, and we are still assisting them with the other humanitarian needs.
I mean, your teams must be overstretched. Are you able to cope with the with the calls and the demand for help?
You know, we are doing this for 32 years, so our teams are quite prepared to do this kind of disaster. But the main problem was it was stretched over three provinces. We are capable of, but our suppliers, the demand is more than the supply. So we literally bought all the blankets out from all the suppliers in the three provinces. And secondly, logistically, it becomes a nightmare sometimes. Some of the roads are cut off. You have to detour, which sometimes takes longer in getting the goods over to the other side. But we are trying to use all means possible. We are sitting with the local authorities, and even we like to thank the farmers and the locals who are even giving their farms, evaluating their farms and their property for us to go across into the other side where the communities are affected. In KwaZulu-Natal, example, in Kariga, some of the roads are completely cut off. So young members of the community is coming down to come collect bottles of water and food for the elderly people stuck on the other side. So at the moment, all credit due to our teams, all credit due to the South African Police Services, who was doing a tremendous job, especially the search and rescue teams, are working around the clock to ensure there is closure for families to retrieve their loved ones. All credit due to the Department of Social Development, the Department of Human Settlements, who are relocating the people in safety, and that's making it easier for us to reach out to the families to deliver our humanitarian aid.
I'm sure you could do with more help. In which areas?
Most definitely. The areas that require the most help at the moment is Tongaat, KZN, where the tornado has caused quite havoc. School infrastructure was damaged. In Dansane, Eastern Cape, a school was badly affected. Close to 29 clinics. The Eastern Cape Provincial Department, the Eastern Cape Health Department met with our CEO, Dr. Imtiaz Suleiman, they have requested assistance in renovation or to repair some of the 29 hospitals and clinics that was damaged by this current storms. So there's always a need. Our main focus at the moment was assisting the humanitarian needs of the people, but ensuring that they are safe. And the second response will be trying to assist these institutions so there's no interruption in government institution in terms of health and schooling. We are, thank God, a school holiday is coming up. It gives us more time and where there will be no interruption in the school calendar.
What do you need? What do you still need? What can people help with?
The most urgent need we require at the moment is blankets, clean drinking water, personal hygiene items, non-perishable food items, and once our building teams do assessments at schools affected in all provinces, and as well as the clinics and hospitals, we will require financial support to assist these institutions in their running of the day business.
And I mean, you mentioned the defense, water, police, social development as well. Do you need other government departments to do very specific things as well?
All credit due to all the government departments. I must say, in this disaster, especially the one in the Eastern Cape, the Premier was physically the President was physically on site. The Premier was physically on site. The Minister of Kokta, Human Settlements, Social Development, they all came together and they realized the severity of this disaster, and they've all put measures in place to assist these families. This morning was a positive sign as we see elderly people and children moving from the shelters where conditions was not viable for them to be in, being placed in bed and B&Bs, being placed in hotels, being placed in other accommodation. And the President has committed with given instructions to the Department of Human Settlements within 30 days to relocate these people. You know, one of the scenes I visited 2 days ago was that of a blind 77-year-old granny. She said she could hear the severity of the water coming down. The whole back section of her house was washed away. She was lying on the bed and the water was not coming over her body. All credit due to the community members who managed to relocate her. But this is just one of many elderly people that's been severely affected. And I have been told that the relevant departments have been to her and they are going to relocate her to a place of safety so long until they are being placed into temporary shelters.
Ali Sablay, great work. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Ali Sablay, of course, of the gift of the givers.